Well, here we are, Austin. After the crappy Pro Bowl last weekend and no actual fun football to watch, we're here now at the most fun, at the biggest game of the year, the championship, the Super Bowl. Winner takes all, the highest stakes. And we're here and we're going to talk about it and we're going to pick it. And it's sad that we're already here at the Super Bowl. But we can't look ahead to the end of this week because we got this game. This game's going to be a lot of fun. It should be a great game. And we're here to talk about it. So, yeah, this is K&A Football. Austin, I'm not going to lie. Last week was really lame because you got football every single week, multiple games a week since September. Then you get to last weekend and it's like the Pro Bowl, which me and you talked about on the last episode. Nobody cares about, nobody watches. It's really lame. And it's one thing that once you're done with the Super Bowl, once you're done with the season, you're like, okay, it is the off season. You're used to this. Like, it's the off season. You have a champion already. You have nothing to look forward to now until next season, which everyone's gearing up the off season. People are making moves. So you have that you're looking at that. Last weekend, you have nothing. It's literally the Pro Bowl and you have no champion. You have it's just lame. It was weird to explain. I was bored. I was like, there needs to be the Super Bowl. I understand the 2-week break from the championship week to the Super Bowl, but I really it doesn't make sense to me at the same time. I'm like, just put it all week, all season long, you have game after game after game. Why all of a sudden is there just a break? You ever think about that?
Yeah. No, yeah, I do think about that because I was like, man, what am I doing with my weekend? Normally I spend my time watching football on Sundays or, once the playoffs come around, and watch on Saturdays too.
It sounds really lame. It sounds like we got no lives. Football's not on. Oh, we're bored. We do.
I have to schedule my life around football. You know what I'm saying?
that is
kind of like that, bro. It's kind of like that.
Right.
But yeah, I completely get what you're saying. And I also understand giving it the 2-week break because it's you want the teams to be as prepared as they possibly can be to play the best game of football that they can, give everyone time to recover. So I get it. But it's no time to dwell in the past because the Super Bowl is right in front of us. The biggest game of the year, the biggest sporting event, other than, of course, my favorite, the World Cup. But that's beside the point. Let's get in to our Super Bowl pick'ems.
This week's K&A pick'ems.
So first on the agenda for us here, Kadin, is we have decided that we are going to take you viewers on a trip.
A journey,
if you will. We're going to take you through our analysis of the Chiefs team as a whole, the Eagles team as a whole, and then the coaches, and then finally make our pick for who we each think will win the 2022 season, 2020-23 Super Bowl.
Mm-hmm. Highly recommend, if you're listening on anywhere, highly recommend going to the YouTube. Debbie has spent a stupid amount of time, I will say, a stupid amount of time on these slides behind us, and they are very good. Going in, while we talk, there are going to be nice graphics behind us. Highly recommend you go show the love to the YouTube. Listen on Spotify too. Maybe do both, but
definitely tune in to see these graphics.
Oh, for sure. If you're going to pick one, probably I'd lean more to the YouTube on this episode, for sure.
Really quick, we didn't mention this before, but you can see all of these amazing graphics on the fantastic TV behind us that was given to us by the Jeremiah Hirschberger. Shout out to you, Maya. All right, so first up is Patrick Mahomes, obviously the game changer. In my opinion, if I had to rank the top 3 best quarterbacks in the NFL, I would go number 1, Patrick Mahomes, number 2, Patrick Mahomes on one leg, and number 3, probably Joe Burrow. So obviously, Patrick Mahomes is the man. He is the best. He broke the record for NFL yards in total for a year. He broke that record. Drew Brees held that before. Patrick Mahomes broke it. He's obviously in our opinions, the clear-cut candidate for MVP. He won the Super Bowl before. I think that he's a real game changer. Passed for over 5,000 yards this season on only 12 interceptions, which is considerably less than Dak Prescott.
Considerably less than Dak Prescott. Yeah, in the AFC Championship game, we know that he was really what's the word? He was hurt. He was hurt. He had an ankle sprain, and it didn't seem to affect him too bad. I mean, obviously, it does affect his whole. One of the things that makes Mahomes is his ability to just run around. We've said it, I think, like 8 times this season. Like, he'd just run around, literally do like 360s behind the line of scrimmage, and then throw it like behind the back, 360, upside down, pass. Like
for 75 yards.
Yeah, like 50 yards down the field. And that's just one of the things that makes him so good. And obviously, with a sprained ankle, it's hard to run and it's hard to move. But when the game came down to the very end, he said, screw it. I'm going to suck up this pain. I am Patrick Mahomes. I'm making $500 million over the span of 10 years. I am the greatest player in the league. A little ankle sprain isn't going to keep me from going to the Super Bowl. And he sprinted, got that first down, drew the penalty, resulting in the game-winning field goal. So obviously 2 weeks off, like we talked about, it does help them get the full rest, which the 2 weeks definitely helped Mahomes. I'm sure he's all the way, if not very close to being fully good to go.
Yeah, I'm sure his ankle will still be taped just as a precautionary measure.
He'll still be under so many painkillers, but and the adrenaline of all games would make the pain go away. But of the Super Bowl of all games, I mean, come on,
you're playing to do that for sure,
right? But yeah, he's the undisputed best player in the league. I don't think it's much of a discussion. He's been here before. This is his 3rd Super Bowl. He won the first one against the 49ers on that nice comeback.
Yep.
And then he lost the kind of a blowout Super Bowl to the Bucs back when his offensive line, man, was
garbage.
A joke. But it's going to be really interesting to see how he does in this game. We've seen him twice before, so he's definitely got experience. Yeah,
for sure. All right. Next up on the agenda to talk about here, if you'll direct everyone's attention to the slide, is the Chiefs' offense, specifically their wide receiver core. Obviously, like I had said, Patrick Mahomes passed for over 5,000 yards this year, which, in case you don't know how passing works, that means that his receivers have caught over 5,000 passing yards this year. Notably, in the AFC Championship game, realistically, all of his guys were gone.
Yeah.
I mean, Kadarius Toney was hurt.
Shocker. He's hurt every game, man.
Juju was hurt. Like literally every single person except for Isaiah McKinnon Scantley.
Oh, Marquez Valdez-Scantling.
Yeah, his name is too long for me to ever remember. I don't even try anymore. Everyone other than Scantley was injured and not playing for the last part of this game, but yet he still made it work without them. That's not to say that I don't think that they're going to play a huge role. Obviously, they should, with this 2-week break, be healthy, back at it, and with it being the Super Bowl, probably suck it up even if they do get hurt and try to play through it, because this is the biggest game of their lives. So I think that the Chiefs receiving core is going to be very helpful to have back. The regular season, the Chiefs offense was ranked 6th in the league. I mean, that's for a reason, and that's obviously because of your quarterback and the receivers you were able to acquire.
Yeah. I mean, unlike Mahomes, none of these guys have played in the Super Bowl before.
Right.
I mean, back the other Chiefs Super Bowl runs, they had Tyreek Hill, Travis Kelce. He's still on the team, but he is a tight end. I mean, Juju, he was with the Steelers. He never went to a Super Bowl. Valdez-Scantling was with the Packers. He never went to a Super Bowl. Kadarius Toney was with the Giants. They never really even got close. I mean, all these guys, in this season, they traded away, or over the offseason, they traded away Tyreek Hill, and everyone's like, oh, we're about to see Mahomes like take a huge step down. We're about to see Mahomes. He was kind of made by Tyreek Hill. Like, got lucky because Tyreek Hill was so fast. He could just throw it up to Tyreek Hill, and he could outrun everyone and get it and then run for a touchdown. I'm not dogging on you here, but you did say, I don't know if it was on the podcast or just to me.
I think it was on the podcast, yeah.
Like, something along the lines of, like, Mahomes is going to take a huge step back. I'm expecting a big regression. Tyreek Hill made him. I mean, he's still a good player, but he's not the best. And clearly we were wrong.
Very clearly. I mean, he put up more yards than anyone has ever put up in a season ever. So,
I mean, if you're looking at this receiving core and you're like, this receiving core with a quarterback who we don't know is in the Super Bowl, you're like, what? Like, they're good, but they're not like.
Right. There's no real notable names on this
like
list.
The Eagles we'll look at later. They have a really good receiving core. This receiving core is like it's a bunch of mid-tier average guys, but then they step up in big moments. I mean, we talked about it last week. Marquez Valdez-Scantling.
Yes.
The name we love saying.
Just
huge,
you.
huge game last week. Literally, like single-handedly helped them win that game. He had over 100 yards. He with all the receivers out, he stepped up and played like the receiver that I was expecting him and hoping to him to play like this season. But I'm expecting another big game out of one of these receivers. I think they'll all do pretty decent, but I'm still expecting one of them to take the lead role, kind of like Valdez-Scantling did last week, and really be the difference maker for them. Obviously, you're going to have Kelsey, and Mahomes can do it on the ground, and so can their running backs. But one of these receivers has to step up and be that guy.
Yes, I completely agree. All right, next up here, Debbie, what else are we talking about? Maybe. Here we go.
Graphics. Oh,
The Chiefs' defense. Now, I said it last week. Pretty sure I said it the week before. I'd said it when the Bengals played the Bills. This Chiefs defense is not very good.
so yeah.
They're ranked 19th. I think that's 19th. It might be better than that. It is. Hold on. Yeah, 19th. It is 19th. Okay, I was right.
Look at you. Go with your instincts.
Yeah, so Chiefs have the 19th ranked defense, and there's only 32 teams in the league, so that's not particularly fantastic. They did step up, they did really step up last week against the Bengals, which is, that's what you have to do. And realistically, when it comes down to it, it doesn't matter where you're ranked for the regular season. What really matters is the plays that you make in the game. And it doesn't matter what happened before this game. This is the game. If you're going to step up and you're going to make the plays, that's what matters. It's all about winning. But that is to say, I don't feel like their defense can really stop a super high-powered offense 2 games in a row.
I mean, last game, early in the game, you saw 4 very early sacks against the Bengals.
Mm-hmm.
Great defense, but also the Bengals' offensive line is terrible. I mean, that's pretty much all there is to it. But then the rest of the game, no sacks. Like, how are you not going to maintain? Sure, the Bengals made adjustments and started throwing screens and getting the ball out of Burrow's hands quicker, but you think they'd be able to get more pressure if it's happening all game. I mean, they did hold them to not too many points. I mean, it was a mid-tier scoring. Yeah, but yeah. I mean, their defense is suspect at times. It's going to be interesting to see how it goes. I mean, earlier in the season, and it was just a regular season, but against the Texans, there was a couple week stretch where they were giving up so many points, and it's like, man, Mahomes has to just, I mean, we know he can do it because it's Mahomes, but he just has to completely outscore whoever he's playing every game. I mean, that's how you win football games, is by outscoring them, if you didn't know. But
you didn't know.
Like, it's like a lot. He needs to score a lot of points to get this team to win because their defense can't stop anyone. I think they have gotten better as the season's gone on, but they still are a question mark. It's definitely nowhere near an elite level defense like the Eagles have.
Yeah, completely agree with you there. Yeah. Hopefully they step up and make the plays that are necessary, but who knows? Not good.
It's okay, Debbie. We're not mad. You got these graphics behind us.
Yeah, obviously. Before we move on into the Eagles section, I want you all to take a quick moment and check out our friends at K&F Construction. My note card's upside down. K&F Construction has been serving the Northeast Ohio community for over 16 years, specializing in composite decks. K&F Construction takes the time and effort to provide the service and product you deserve for your home. You can call K&F Construction today at 330-575-2465 for a free estimate. Again, that's 330-575-2465. You can also visit kfdex.com, which is linked in the description. K&F Construction, let us build your dream backyard.
Yeah, so now we're going to jump to the Eagles side of things. We talked about the Chiefs, and we'll still have more players to talk about. Obviously, we have left some big players out, which we know. That'll be it. Don't worry, we know we're not done. We know what we're doing. So we are. So whatever.
So we tell ourselves.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to say. So we got the Eagles now. Obviously, they're also MVP candidate. Mahomes and Jalen Hurts this season have been kind of 1A, 1B for quarterbacks. You can put Burrow in that mix. At times, you could have put Josh Allen in that mix.
Yeah.
He has been phenomenal. His ability to run, his ability to pass, his ability to go deep and hit all his receivers that he's got, it's phenomenal. I mean, last season, the Eagles made the playoffs, and a lot of Eagles fans were saying, oh, we need an upgraded quarterback to be good. For one, I mean, we didn't have a podcast last season, so I can't really, you might not trust me, but I promise I'm not lying on this. I'm not just like making this up. I really like Jalen Hurts. I think this guy, I didn't expect this kind of growth. I didn't expect maybe like MVP candidate Super Bowl in a year, but I'm like, this guy can definitely be the franchise guy. And he's proven that this year. He completely messes up a defense because if you want to keen in on him running, he can throw deep on you. If you want to keen in on the pass, he'll just run for every yard on you. I mean, he's a game changer. When he missed this year, they went 0-2.
Yep. Yeah, I mean, he is a game changer. Obviously, when you think of the award most valuable player, it's not most valuable player in the league because that's way broad. It's who's the most valuable player to their individual team. Obviously, we both think that Mahomes will be that guy. I mean, you don't pass for that many yards and not win it. But like you said, Hurts missing 2 games. They go 0-2 in those games. He arguably would be the most valuable player on that Eagles roster. He did very well this season. He had almost 4,000 yards passing, and he only threw 6 interceptions, which is 6 less than Mahomes threw. Very impressive to only throw 6 interceptions in an NFL season.
Yeah. And now, another part that just makes the Eagles so scary is who he's throwing the ball to, which
Exactly.
I think, like that. Debbie, that's when you flish it.
My bad for that.
It's all right. There we go. The Eagles receivers, a lot different than Kansas City's receivers. These are all elite level receivers. A.J. Brown, who they acquired on draft night last year in a trade, has been a huge difference maker.
Yeah.
I mean, he completely changed that offense, a huge part of Jalen Hurts' growth. I mean, he has been one of the best receivers in football. He's an insane deep threat. He gets yards after catch. He's huge. He's hard to tackle. He catches everything. I mean, he is that guy. And then on the other side, they got a couple like 2021's Heisman, I think. Devontae Smith, who was a first-round pick, I believe, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Still a very solid receiver. Could be a low-end wide receiver 1 for some teams or a very high-end wide receiver 2, kind of like T. Higgins.
Yeah.
He's a very good receiver. He's more of the quick, like, juke everybody out, just run around him, sort of like a mini Tyreek Hill. I mean, he does make incredible catches, like the one last week, even though it wasn't really a catch. I mean, it was still a huge play.
Catch.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like you said, A.J. Brown, definitely the most notable name on this receiving core. I would argue probably the biggest, most important, most impactful trade of the entire offseason.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you wouldn't think so because we had a bunch of quarterbacks that moved around and a bunch of other big name players. But, I mean, A.J. Brown moving to the Eagles really catapulted them to be where they are now, and he's been such a threat to everyone around him. Like, his numbers are insane. He had almost 1,500 yards receiving. He was like 4 yards short. He's like, it's incredible that you can do that anymore. Like, he's fantastic. I think that he will be a difference maker in this game. Whether or not they'll come out on top, I don't know.
Stay tuned to the end.
Stay tuned to the end to find out.
But like when he was in Tennessee, he was a good receiver, but he wasn't exploding like this. Maybe because Ryan Tannehill was his quarterback, not to the level of Jalen Hurts. Maybe because they had Derrick Henry on their team, so he was kind of shadowed. He was kind of in Derrick Henry's shadow, and Derrick Henry would just run the ball for 500 yards a game, and they didn't need him to do good. Now they bring him here. He is the star there, and they just let him cook, and he is cooking, and he's one of the best receivers in football. I don't think they're not here if they don't trade for A.J. Brown this offseason.
I 100% agree with that. Yeah.
Not taking anything away from the rest of the team, but he has been a huge difference maker for sure.
Yeah.
Next order of business. Oh, it's the Eagles defense.
Eagles defense, man.
Very good defense, we will say. Again, different than the Chiefs. The Chiefs' mindset is kind of like let Mahomes, let Mahomes cook and let him outscore him. The Eagles is a very balanced, very just good all-around team.
Yeah.
I mean, their offensive line is great. I don't think we have a slide for their offensive line, but their offensive line is one of the better O-lines in the league. And their defense is one of the better defenses in the league. Individually on their defense, Hassan Reddick, great defensive end. He's the linebacker, defensive end, kind of like a Micah Parsons, kind of like plays both. But look, he was on the Panthers last season, and he was a free agent, and I was like, there is zero chance that we re-sign him. I just know we don't have the money to do it, and I don't know if he's going to want to come back here because we weren't good. Still not great, but whatever. And the Eagles wanted him, and they were willing to pay more money, and it's his hometown. And I'm like, okay, he's obviously going to go there. Goes there and explodes. I mean, 15 and a half sacks, 2 huge sacks last week, a forced fumble. I mean, you don't want to see it, but took Brock Purdy out of the game.
Yeah.
I mean, he's been a difference maker for that defense. But not only him, their whole defensive line has around double-digit sacks. Their defensive line just gets to the quarterback every game. They have so many sacks as a team. And yet their corners fly to the football too. They got Darius Slay, one of the better corners in the league. They got James Bradbury, I believe, who former Panthers corner, still a lockdown corner. I mean, they got 2 lockdown corners, great D-line. Their linebackers are good. I mean, their defense is very, very scary.
Yeah. I mean, ending the regular season, their defense was ranked 8th in the league going into the playoffs. They were ranked all the way up to 2nd. Their defense is really good. Obviously, it was only behind that of the 49ers, who they inevitably knocked out of the playoffs, scoring 31 points on, might I add. So this Eagles defense is no joke. It'll be, in my opinion, a lot of fun to see them go up against the Chiefs' high-powered offense. I think we're going to be in for a really good game.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and some of the starts of this defense were on the same Eagles team back
2017.
Yeah, like Brandon Graham, who had the strip sack at the very end, Fletcher Cox, a lot of this D-line, the pieces on the D-line. Obviously, Hassan Reddick isn't because he's new, but it's going to be interesting to see how their defense does. I really like their defense.
I agree.
Before we get into our individual player analysis, let's hear a word from one of our sponsors. Get ahead of the game by reserving your Valentine's Day flowers today. Prince Florist in Canton is now accepting reservations for roses and custom bouquets so that you can be the hero when the big day arrives. Avoid the stress of last-minute shopping and make sure your special someone knows how much they mean to you. Place your order at princeflorist.com. That's PRINTZ florist.com.
Yeah. Make sure you click the link in our bio so they know that we sent you over there.
Cool. So yeah, so we talked about each team as a whole. One of the battles individually, I guess we can say. We'll talk about those now. So one of the bigger storylines for the Super Bowl is the Kelsey Bowl.
Mm-hmm.
Now, what do you mean by that? Travis Kelsey, obviously we know the best tight end in football. If he has a couple more seasons like this, you can start talking about him as one of the best tight ends ever. He is that good. Going up against his brother, Jason Kelsey, who is another superstar player, center for the Eagles. Yeah, it's going to be the first time brothers have faced off in the Super Bowl. It's fun. It's fun to see.
Yeah. It'll be interesting to see at the end of the game how it is, because obviously, right, if it was just one of them, the other would be in attendance for this game and they'd be rooting for their brother to win, and then they'd celebrate when that happens. But now, one of them is going to win the Super Bowl and one of them is going to lose the Super Bowl. And so it's going to be this mixture of I'm really happy for you that you won the Super Bowl, but I lost the Super Bowl.
Mm-hmm. There's a video of, because the Eagles won the NFC Championship and then the AFC Championship was after that. So after the Eagles won, Jason Kelsey put on a Chiefs hoodie or something like that and was watching the game. And then the second that the Chiefs game ended, he took the hoodie off and put the Eagles one back on, and he was like, all right, it's back to this for 2 weeks. So they obviously they root for each other whenever they're not playing, and now they're in the highest stakes. They said, "Oh, our mom can't lose." I mean, yeah, but your mom also, no matter what wins and no matter what loses, because one of her sons is gonna lose. But personally, I mean, I could be completely wrong on this, but I think if the Eagles win, I don't think Travis Kelce will be a good sport about it to his brother in the moment. I think he's going to be upset. Sure, he might go up and be like, "Oh, congrats," but he's going to seem really upset. Like, he seems like the type of guy to me. Again, I could be completely wrong. I could just be rambling on about nothing. But to me, it seems like he'd be like the poor sport about it. He'd be like he'd be more mad if the Chiefs win. I think Jason Kelce, yeah, it hurts, but he's going to be really excited for his brother. If it's reversed, I don't know if he's excited for his brother.
I heard another thing too that I think it's Jason Kelsey's. Is it Jason Kelsey? Yeah, Jason.
Center, yeah.
Yeah. I think his wife is pregnant and also going to the game.
Yeah.
And so, she's like
super Kelsey,
late trimester. Like she might give birth during the Super Bowl, which would be the ultimate script writing for the
Super Kelsey Bowl. Yeah.
But they wouldn't have enough tickets to support the new baby. That's the problem.
But I mean, it's not like it's like some role players brothers who like, and they don't play, like, or one of the guys is like Amon-Ra St. Brown and the other guy is Equanimous St. Brown. It's 2 star level players, so that's what makes it even more just like
Has Jason Kelce ever won a Super Bowl? Was he on the Eagles when
I'm assuming
they won that one?
I
want to know that now.
I do too. That's the perks of having these computers here now. Jason Kelce Super Bowl ring? Question mark.
It's let's see.
I think he did.
Yes.
Yeah, he did.
He did.
Because he was the one. Good. That's right. Because he was the one that had all that weird. He dressed up really weird at their Super Bowl parade.
Batman.
No. He dressed up like a weird, like, it was funny, but yeah. So he did win one.
Okay,
so
that makes me feel a lot better because I was like, I know that Travis Kelce has won a ring and I know that he's been to a number of Super Bowls. But if Jason Kelce's never won one, it's like, I mean, I almost want to root for him to win one because it's like, I kind of want them both to have one instead of just one. But since they both have one, all bets are off. They both have a ring. Is what it is.
It's bragging rights, man.
It is bragging rights. Ultimate bragging rights, the highest stage.
All right, the next one. We got the coaches. We got Andy Reid, who becomes the first coach in history. There's a lot of storylines. The first coach in history to coach against his former team in the Super Bowl.
Yeah, which is, great for him, I guess. He's one of the best coaches to ever do it, realistically. I've seen a lot of things recently that's like, if Andy Reid doesn't win this Super Bowl, his legacy will take, quote, a hit.
No.
And I'm like, that's just not true.
Yeah.
Because he's one of the best coaches to ever do it. He's already won himself a Super Bowl. He's one of the winningest coaches ever. Like, not ever, but like he wins all the time. Like, he doesn't have losing seasons. That's just how it is for Andy Reid. So I feel like that's just not true. His legacy is intact. He could lose every game from here on out and retire, and he'd still be one of the best to ever do it. And he's obviously been in this situation before. He's been in, I want to say, 4 Super Bowls. He was on the losing end of one while he was with the Eagles. He won one with the Chiefs, lost against the Buccaneers, and now this is his 4th one. Nick Sirianni, this is his first year as the Eagles head coach. Crazy time to be here in your first year, man. This is the biggest stage in the world, and you're already here.
Well, no, he's been a coach. Last year, I think he was his first season.
Oh, was it? Okay.
Yeah.
I think you're right about that. Okay, it wasn't Doug Peterson last year.
Yeah.
Yeah, so this is his 2nd year. That's still very impressive. You're already here in the biggest stage at the Super Bowl. Yeah, they're very fantastic. Nick Sirianni, even though he doesn't have the legacy of Andy Reid yet, obviously he's very good.
Get there for
he
sure.
Could get there. They made it all the way to the playoffs last year. Came up a little short. This year they're all the way here at the Super Bowl. Could end up winning it. We'll see. Obviously, very, very well coaching coaches. I don't know how to phrase that.
They're good game plan. They good strategy. Yeah, they're both great coaches, and I think it really shows how important coaching is. You have a lot of teams that have good players around them, like the Broncos this season, and yet they have a coach like Nathaniel Hackett, and they were a joke.
Yeah.
You have a lot of teams that they could be good, but they have such a terrible coach that it's like, well, they're not going to win games. And then you have some teams that don't have a lot of talent, like the Giants, but they have a coach like Brian Dable, and they go to the divisional round of the playoffs. So coaching really makes a difference, and this is an example.
Absolutely. All right. Next up here, I think, is the running backs. Running backs, man. So, obviously, if you were to just look at their numbers, you'd probably say that Miles Sanders was a lot better. I mean, Miles Sanders played the whole year. He did very well. He had 1,200 rushing yards this year. Isaiah Pacheco, on the other hand, only had 830, but he's had 730 of those since week 10. So he's really been picking it up in these last couple weeks. He obviously isn't like the number one guy on the Chiefs, but in my opinion, he's like the speedy guy. He's the guy that's going to get it done.
Mm-hmm. Debbie, I'm just looking at the screen. Like I'm just admiring how good the screen looks. So props to Debbie for that one. But first of all, shout out to the Big Ten.
Yeah,
Miles Sanders out of Penn State and Isaiah Pacheco out of Rutgers. So Big Ten running backs making appearances in Super Bowls. Hey man, it's the best conference. SEC. Don't talk to me.
Take a hike, man. Big Ten's here to stay.
Yeah, but Isaiah Pacheco, rookie running back this season, really burst onto the scene as of late. I mean, it started off this season as Clyde Edwards-Helaire, and then it was him, and then there was like that really weird stretch where it was just Jerick McKinnon, and he got like 11 touchdowns in like a week.
Yeah.
It wasn't, but like that's what it seemed like. He was scoring like every game. And then lately it's turned back into Pacheco, where he's turned it up a notch in the playoffs. I mean, his run against, was it the Jaguars? Yes, where he just literally like he ran up the middle and it was stuffed, but he bounced to the left. Dude, he took that thing and he just put his head down and like took off. I mean, both of these running backs are a lot of fun to watch. Pacheco, I think, is a lot more speedy. He's that more elusive guy. While Miles Sanders really is a product of just good offensive line.
Yeah,
and he gets a lot of holes. I'm not saying he's not good. He's still a great running back, but
when your offensive line's making the space for you, it's really easy to burst through that. Yeah,
I think I could get through some of those holes.
I could put about 500 yards with that offensive line in a year. Come on.
But yeah, it should be. I mean, there's so many star players, there's a lot of just firepower in this game. On the sidelines, during the game, storylines.
Yeah. So, finally, here we are.
Final pick'em.
The final pick'em of the year. And unless we're going to change the rules where
we are not. Where
I get 10,000 points if I get this right, I'm going to a Waffle House after this, but that's okay as long as I get this one right. So, without further ado, I have been voluntold to pick first. So,
I have no idea. I think I have an idea who you're picking.
Do I think that this team will win?
You say this every week. You pick every single game with your heart, bro.
Do I think this team will win? I think that they do stand a legitimate chance.
But he doesn't.
Do I think that on paper they're the better team? I don't. But I want them to win. And you know what? My pick'em doesn't matter anymore because I'm spending time in Waffle House anyway. So may as well pick with my heart. I am going with the Kansas City Chiefs to win the Super Bowl.
Wow.
I am shocked, man.
So shocked.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Okay.
Who could have foreseen this?
I mean, this is a very tough game to pick. I mean, we've said it for the last couple games of the playoffs, but this one is a very 50-50 game. I mean, if it was like the last couple Super Bowls, I mean, you got the Bengals and the Rams. The Rams were favored by a decent amount in that game because the Bengals, I mean, they just made that magical run, while the Rams were just dominant all season. It's like this game, you got the 2-1 seeds, you got the 1 seed in the AFC, the 1 seed in the NFC. But looking at it in the last couple of years, historically, defenses have been huge. Offenses do matter, but defenses come up huge in Super Bowls. You got last season, you got the Rams. Better defense than the Bengals. Their defense won them the game with that stop at the very end. You got the Buccaneers versus the Chiefs. The Buccaneers defense was all over Mahomes that game. Mahomes couldn't do anything. You got the Panthers versus Broncos Super Bowl. Panthers were the best offense in the league that year. Broncos were the best defense. Broncos defense manhandled. I mean, defenses matter a lot in the Super Bowl. I think that the Eagles offense is better than the Chiefs offense right now. I mean, their receivers are better. Their running backs are pretty similar. Their offensive line is much better, and their defense is a lot better. And defenses are what win Super Bowls, in my opinion. So aside from just the offense, I think the defense is there too. I'm picking Eagles in this game.
Yeah.
It should be a really good game, but I think the defense is a huge factor in this game. Ultimately wins them the game.
Hey, we'll see, man. I'm coming at this as a football fan.
Oh,
because
100%.
My team
I would
isn't
not
really
be
in
upset
this.
if the Chiefs win. I will be rooting for the Eagles
Yeah.
because I'd like to see. I mean, it's a lot of young guys on that team, but I wouldn't be upset if it's a good game. It's all I can ask for. I really want to see it entertain. I mean, the last couple seasons you got. I guess last season was a great Super Bowl. I'm hoping for another one like that this year.
Yeah.
Maybe even better.
Yeah.
Maybe we can test out the new overtime rules. Do you know how awesome that would be?
That would be so
the new
good.
playoff overtime rules in the Super Bowl between obviously
That
the
would
two
be
best
great.
teams.
Just looking for a good game, man.
100%.
Looking for a good game.
What's your pick for Super Bowl MVP?
Super Bowl MVP. Well, obviously,
Oh yeah,
I have
yeah,
Chiefs winning.
probably Mahomes.
So that'll probably end up being Mahomes.
Yeah, I could see a lot of guys winning it for if the Eagles win. I think if their defense plays has an impact like I think they will, I think it could easily be Hassan Reddick.
Yep.
If he gets a couple sacks and maybe a strip sack, he can easily win it for them. I think Jalen Hurts is probably the favorite if the Eagles were to win, and you can throw AJ Brown in
AJ Brown in the
too.
mix.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
It should be a really good game, and it's sad that the season's over, but we have this game to look to. This should be a really good game.
Yeah. But now, before we get out of here, before we close our final pick'em of the year, before our last recap of the year, now that sports betting is legal in almost every part of the nation, we do not endorse sports betting.
No, we
here.
do not.
We do not endorse sports betting. But there are a couple of interesting things that you can bet on in the Super Bowl. You can literally bet on everything.
Anything.
And
It's
so
funny.
I have a couple of things here that are on the line, and a couple that I made up that I think will be a little fun. So I got let's see, do I have 5? No, I have 4 questions here. Okay. And are we getting everyone involved here, Debbie?
Yeah.
We're getting the whole squad involved
Minus
here.
Sue Ellen.
Minus Sue Ellen.
Sue Ellen
So-
is not here.
Rip Sue Ellen.
Up first, one of the lines that could be picked. Do you guys think under or over 2 minutes for the national anthem?
Dude, you know what is so weird? Is I know that's a real line
Yeah.
because I'm scrolling through Instagram and I see of so many way too many videos. They're like, hey, if you're betting, this is why the over or the under will definitely hit on the national anthem. And they're like, give the stats, and you're like, so I think this year's a country singer.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so you're like, if you look at the stats for the last time country singers sang, they averaged it out at this long. And if you look at this guy's songs, they averaged this many minutes. Blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, it's interesting. It's funny how people find this stuff.
Yeah.
And based on the videos I've seen, I mean, I'm not betting. I'm not even allowed. I'm 16, almost 17 years old. But based on the videos I've seen, it sounds like the over. I really has no idea, but I'm just gonna pick the over because they always are stupid long. It's dumb, but the over.
Over. How about you, producers? What are we talking about back here?
So Kadin had the over.
Yeah.
2 minutes, you said?
Is
Yeah.
it 2 or is it 2:20?
I think the line is 2.
Okay.
Because that's how long the national anthem is 2.
I don't want to pick first. Why don't you go ahead?
I'm gonna have to pick over 2 minutes.
Over 2 minutes. You got any reasoning for that? There, Margaret?
No, I just feel like it's gonna be over 2 minutes. I mean,
Just a feeling?
yeah, just a feeling.
Yeah.
Imagine being someone and you're like, yo, I'm gonna bet 175K on the over for the national anthem. That is all luck. That's not nothing. Nah.
Is this just the singing part, or
Yeah,
is this the whole
The whole thing from say.
I think it's gonna be over 2 minutes. I mean, it's a pretty big. I mean, every Super Bowl is big. Obviously, it's the 2 best teams in the league. But I don't know. This Super Bowl just seems pretty pretty lit. Like I think everyone's gonna be really excited. So either that'll mean they'll rush it, but they're not gonna rush it. So I think it's gonna be over 2 minutes. I'm gonna take the over.
Everyone's
What you
going
got
with
there,
the over.
Austin?
Oh yeah, I'm going over as well.
Yeah,
I mean,
we're all
I-
over. Okay.
Yeah, I
says-
saw.
Chris Stapleton is singing it.
Yeah,
She's apparently some country singer.
Let me just.
So sounds like, yeah, country songs. They're slow. They're like, oh, trucks. Oh, country. America. So
Right,
it's
they're
gonna be a
singing
long
that
song.
in
I
the
think it'll be
Super Bowl.
over.
yeah, I completely agree. All right, here's one that I don't think.
Wait.
Okay, never mind. We're waiting.
Okay, I was just curious to see because I've never thought about this before. I don't know why I would have. The national anthem has gone over 2 minutes in 7 of the last 10 Super Bowls. So I feel like we all have a pretty good chance. It's over 2 minutes in the last 7 of 10. So
Hey, you're providing the
all right.
money if we hit, right?
I am not your bookie. All right, so here's one that I don't think is a line, but I think that it's a real question that needs asked for everyone, everywhere.
Yeah.
And one that definitely needs answered, in my opinion. Does Gronk make the kick of destiny?
What?
You don't know the kick of destiny?
I feel really like out of the loop here. I feel like I should know that.
You haven't seen
I
the
feel like you should have
commercials?
prepped us with some of these before you asked them.
What are you talking about?
So there's these I'm sure that all of you, the viewers who watch any football at all, have seen these commercials. I
think I have.
Rob Gronkowski's like chilling somewhere, and he gets this call, and it's from
Yes.
FanDuel.
I did see this.
And they're
one.
like,
yes.
Gronk, we want you to make the kick of destiny at the Super Bowl. And then he's like, I don't kick, I catch. He's like, no, 35 yards, kick of destiny. If you make it, everyone wins. And he's like, I'm going to have to call Vinatieri. And then they have this whole training montage where Adam Vinatieri is teaching him to kick. You haven't seen any of these?
No.
How have you?
Man, have you not
Kaden
seen any of these,
Kaden
man?
has red zone, right? So did you
There's
get
no
the
red zone
ads?
during the playoffs, though. Have they showed it during the playoffs?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, man.
Bro.
No way. I'm looking this up.
Kaden
You guys-
just
you guys
doesn't
can
watch.
talk. So
just doesn't watch football.
Is he kicking it? So is it will he make it or not? Or
Yeah. Will he make the kick of
So
destiny?
he's actually doing this at
Yeah.
the Super Bowl, and people bet.
Was it
on
gonna be
or
like a
something?
halftime thing or what?
I assume. I don't know.
That'd be fun to watch. I bet he can make it.
It is a thing. Where have I been?
I don't know.
He's gonna make it. I take that. He's gonna make it.
35 yards.
Yeah,
I
he's
can
gonna
make
make
the
it.
35-yard field goal.
That's what I. He's Gronk. Come on.
Gronk.
That's a
Yeah,
big
here's
man.
my
He
say
can
on
take
it. Does he have like a line blitzing? Is it just a kick?
No, it's just him
someone
kicking it.
holding the ball and he
Yeah,
just.
probably the little holding tee. Probably not
Okay.
even anyone holding it for him.
I have no football experience. I never have played football. I've never played soccer. I've never done any of that. And after one of my brother's football games, me and my other brother went down on the field and we were kicking field goals. He was my holder, and I was literally Justin Tucker, and I was booting those things from like 25 yards, and I was making them. I see no way that an actual NFL player can miss.
I mean,
I think he'll make it.
Cowboys kicker, bro.
Oh, well,
like
yeah, but that's
literally
not,
made
that's
to
fair.
do that.
That's fair. But
and he
like,
couldn't make it from I don't know what was his. What he
that is
missed
fair.
from,
Brett
but
Maher did miss, but I think he can make it.
I think he makes it.
Yeah.
All right. Yes.
I think you can make it. Yeah.
All right, we're all agreeing again.
I can't believe I haven't heard of that.
I can't believe
Crazy.
you haven't heard the kick of destiny.
Austin,
bro.
what do you got? You got if he makes it.
Oh, he definitely makes
Okay,
it. It's
okay.
35 yards. Come
Man,
on.
we're just agreeing on all these. Someone has to disagree. Come on.
All right, I think this one might
All right. All right.
pull some disagreement. So, obviously, the Super Bowl is one of the biggest events ever. So many people watch, and a lot of people don't even watch for the game. A lot of people watch for the commercials.
That's
and there
true.
are obviously
I
a
didn't
lot
even
of
remember that.
really
Right.
good commercials. One
Yeah.
of my favorite of all time, obviously Caden's least favorite Super Bowl, Super Bowl 50. There was a commercial for Mountain Dew, and it was the puppy monkey baby.
Yes.
Okay, that was one of the best commercials that has ever been created. And that was one of the more funny ones. There's a lot of funny commercials during the Super Bowl. Here's the line. This isn't actual bet. I made this one up. I make the line here.
I mean, it's gonna be a good one.
Okay. Under over 6.5 funny commercials for the whole thing.
Okay, like what's based off funny? Like what
Not
I
gotta be funny.
what I find funny.
It's gotta be
Or
funny.
like what the world finds funny.
It's gotta be funny. Like if we're sitting together and we're like, that's a funny commercial. That's a funny commercial right there.
That is tough. Margaret, you go first.
I think I'm gonna have to say under.
Under. Okay. There's
Yeah.
there's an under there. What are you thinking, Debbie?
I'm trying to just remember like the last Super Bowls that I've watched and how many I actually thought were funny. I don't remember many last Super Bowl that I was like. I remember some of them. I was like, oh, that's pretty good. You said 6.5,
Yeah.
and you said under.
Yeah, I said under. Wait, how do you get a half?
No,
It's because
that's the
it's
line.
take
Okay, okay.
because you can't
Then
get
if
half
it's
of it.
6, then that's the under. If it's 7, it's the over.
I'm just gonna take the under. I don't
Mhm.
think they'll be that much better at script writing.
I mean, the more that I think about it, I don't. With the way that like society kind of is now, you gotta really watch what you say.
Whoa.
No. You gotta like really watch it, or else you're gonna get like canceled or like things like you gotta make sure things are like
PG.
like PG. You can't be too raunchy with things, or else you're gonna get in a lot of trouble. So I think that really takes away potential of some commercials.
Well, yeah, it depends on like, are we talking about like gut busting? You know,
Like it takes
gut
away
bust
potential. So
laughter,
I'm gonna
or
say
is it
under.
like-
I'm saying under as well.
yeah, or is it gonna be like, you know, that was cool, that was cheeky,
That was cheeky.
you know?
No, I'm gonna take the over on this.
Hey,
I'm gonna take the over.
Really, I don't remember watching like 7 funny commercials.
I feel like during the
Yeah.
Super Bowl, people really go all out, right? You get like 30 seconds for $10 million, and so
Right.
you want to make your commercial as memorable as possible, and you're not gonna do that by doing the same commercial you do every year with Whopper. Like you're just not gonna do
No,
that.
you're gonna see that.
You're not gonna, I mean, we're gonna see that one for sure. But like, you're not gonna get. Yeah, that's such a meme. They have to do it now. But you're not going to get that recognition. Like, I still remember that Puppy Monkey Baby commercial from all those years ago now.
I couldn't tell it was from Mountain Dew though.
And it was from
You
Mountain
couldn't?
Dew. Like, I can tell you that because it's memorable. And so I'm gonna go over. So many people watch. I'm gonna go over 6.5.
Alright.
all right,
All right, for my last one. The last one here. There is.
we're gonna be keeping track of these.
Oh yeah, we're keeping
we're gonna
track. Don't you
affiliate-
worry. Don't you worry.
Monday recap episode. We're gonna have to go over at the
Yeah,
end.
100%. So apparently, our first lady, Joe Biden, is a very big Eagles fan.
Oh,
Didn't know this, but apparently she grew up in Philadelphia, and so she is an Eagles fan and will be in attendance for this Super Bowl. Here's the line.
Is it a real line?
No, this is my line. I am the line maker. I am the bookie.
more than half of these were just Austin.
Austin is Vegas.
I am Vegas. Here's the line. 3.5 times over the course of the game that they show a shot of Joe Biden.
Ooh,
What was it? 3.5?
3.5 on
that's
the over.
good.
Under.
Under.
Yeah. I don't think.
No.
I mean, you got under. It's
3.5.
3.5.
I'm
That's a
saying under.
lot.
I don't know.
Take
No
the
reason
over.
why. Just saying under. There's no. I mean, you can't really think like, oh, if you think about this, no, it's all luck.
I mean, she's not doing any like.
Right,
She's not
I mean-
giving a speech or anything, so it wouldn't be like flashing to the
Right.
audience.
I mean,
and flashing back.
they
at her.
they would show the GM in the press box more
Right.
than her. I mean, she's just a fan. Yeah, they'll show her once, maybe twice, maybe 3 times. 3.5. That means they have to show her 4 times.
Yeah,
There's no way.
I could see like 2 times. Like maybe they make a touchdown, and then like after that, they show her celebration.
It shows
or
her
something.
like woo,
Right.
and then that's about it.
Yeah, I don't know about that. So I'll take under.
We have to take under as well.
Man.
I agree with Kadin. on
Also,
this
you need to
one,
make
yeah.
these like.
I'm going with
closer.
the over.
You really
think that they probably have like a scheduled 2 times that they're going to show her.
Yeah.
Right, and like they're going to show her at some point at the beginning, they're going to show her at some point during the game, and that's what they're going to do. And then there's going to be like the Eagles score and she's celebrating. Okay, cut to Joe Biden. There's the 3. Okay, and then like towards the end of the game, if they win, or if there's a big play, or even if the Chiefs win and she does something, there's our 4. I think that the over is going to
Okay. I could see that if Joe Biden showed up. Because if it's the president of the United States, that's
I'm
a
with
little bit
that.
different. If it's the first lady, I mean, yeah, it's still like the first lady, but still.
Yeah, I agree with that, Keegan. Debbie. JK.
not that. Debbie is the name.
Yeah. One more. I'm a little upset that you didn't mention. This is a real one. People do bet on this like crazy. What color will the Gatorade be? The winning coach, because obviously whoever wins,
Ooh, that's
they get
good.
Gatorade
Gatorade
dumped
bet.
on that.
Yeah,
that's
and that's
good.
like, I mean, that's a one that it's bet on every year. Like it's
Right.
Like that's probably the most bet on random Super Bowl thing. And like I think the favorite is orange, and then there's blue,
I think
clear.
yellow's the favorite
Oh, really?
for this year.
I
Yeah.
did not know that. I personally am going with blue. That's just me. I mean, blue. Don't ask me why I know this, but blue has won the last 2, and the Gatorade colors historically has been it's been streaks. So like a one color will be the same for like 4 years in a row, and I think they're gonna go with the trend, and it's gonna be blue. Don't ask me how I know that.
I'm gonna
It's
go.
been none for actually A little
It was
bit
clear for a long time. It wasn't none. It was just clear. I think it was water.
Yeah.
Just water. I'm gonna go with
something else, I
yellow.
guess.
I saw this whole thing about how it was yellow when the Eagles won their divisional game, their NFC championship game, and when Andy Reid was on the Eagles, when they won their big games, it was yellow. And when the Chiefs won their Super Bowl, it was yellow. And so I think that both teams might have yellow Gatorade on their sideline. And, so I'm going to go with yellow for this one.
Yeah, I saw a similar thing that Austin was talking about, so I'm gonna have to go yellow too.
Oh, you, Debbie?
I'm looking at their
Trying to
past
look at the
record right
trends, but
now.
it doesn't happen.
It's
There's no
the
trends
way
for
that they
It's another one of
organize
those stupid
so-
things. It doesn't require that much thinking. It
Well,
just-
no, I think it does though, because like, doesn't that like mean what the? I guess I don't know who puts the Gatorade in the container, but if it was like,
I mean,
the
they might have
Eagles
multiple.
decided that
They might have multiple coolers.
Yeah,
that's true
sure.
actually.
Hey, man.
I'm gonna go blue.
Hey, me and you together.
The blue.
I didn't even know that's what you picked. I honestly just pulled out a random. So
No,
we're
no,
gonna
no.
go blue.
I'm not hating on you. But yeah.
Yeah.
That's
Anything
a
else?
good one. I like that one. That's pretty
That's a
funny.
good one.
Thanks, man.
Cool, cool.
All right. So yeah, there's our Super Bowl predictions, as well as a little bit of the betting lines as well. Even if I am Vegas now and came up with my own, it should be a fantastic game. Be sure to tune in on February 12th to watch the Super Bowl, and then February 13th to watch our recap of the biggest game in the NFL.
Which will be episode 50, by the way.
It will be. That'll be a big episode for us. Episode 50.
And then we
Very
got to
big.
gear into the off season where we got to actually
Waffle House.
right, where we do Waffle House, but we also don't have the content given to us. We got to
We have to create the
Yeah,
content.
we gotta
It's going to be tough.
NFL script.
We get to write the NFL script from now on. No, not the case. It's not scripted, guys. We're being paid to say that, of course.
No, give me that money because I have not been seeing it. Where are you getting that?
It's all for the set.
I'm making $0.
I don't know how we got that TV.
Exactly. All right, so there's our Super Bowl pick'ems. We look forward to seeing you all in the recap episode. Enjoy the rest of your week. Thanks for watching this episode of K&A Football. You can listen to our podcast wherever you get your podcasts, and we're also active on Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube Shorts.
If you made it this far in the video, thank you. You're a real one. We'll see you next time.